crowd here. It looks like probably 75% of you were not here for the first part of the program earlier. So we're here to do a couple of things tonight. One thing is to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of our company, Aerista. And the other is to celebrate one of our colleagues, Mike Keefe. I'm Chris Eichmann, Arista's other co-founder. I wanted to add to Steve's comments from earlier and thank all of you for being here to help us celebrate this milestone. It's been a fantastic night, better than I could have ever expected. In preparing for this over the last few days, I found the best part about it is not the passage of the 10 years, which is frankly kind of arbitrary, but rather it was the opportunity to focus on, reflect on some of the things that have transpired for us over the last 10 years. The great friendships with clients and with vendors, the great partnership that we have with Cirrus Aircraft, and the ability that we've had to introduce hundreds and hundreds of new airplane owners to the Cirrus life, even before that thing had a name or a hashtag. These kind of events, Oshkosh, CX, Copa Migration, other big things, they're always a ton of fun, and they help us mark the time by giving us some big events to look forward to throughout the year. But the thing that's made this job fun every day are the handful of people walking around with shirts like this one. The Aerista team, my colleagues, my teammates, the people I get to work side by side with day in and day out. These are the folks that have made the last 10 years truly outstanding for us. Sadly, we lost a great team member earlier this year, Mr. Michael Keefe. We learned of his illness about this time last year, and 6 short months later he left us. Many of you knew Mike and can understand the scale of the hole that's been left in our team and in our lives. For those who didn't know him, it's hard to find the words to describe his larger-than-life impact on all of us. Befitting of that, it was important to Mike to leave behind an appropriate legacy, one that would allow his love and passion for flying to live on in others forever. And as such, his family's created a foundation in his honor, benefiting a cause that I think is important and relevant to everybody here tonight. The foundation will support the EAA Youth Aviation Fund, which provides scholarships that allow kids to follow their own flying dreams by attending youth aviation camps right here at Oshkosh. Each $1,000 generated by the foundation will allow one additional kid the opportunity to participate in something they wouldn't otherwise be able to do or afford financially. I want to pause here for a second with a couple introductions. First, we're privileged to have several of Mike's family members with us here tonight. His mom, his brothers, his aunt have all made their first trip to Oshkosh to see firsthand what Mike's annual summer trips to Wisconsin were all about. I want to introduce Mike's brother, Kevin Keefe, to say a few words about Cirrus and what Cirrus and Oshkosh meant to Mike.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everybody. I'm really up here to say thanks to you all. And this trip has been a fantastic look into Mike's life that we've all heard about back in New England. And it's a chance to see firsthand all the special people he spent a good amount of time with. It's really bittersweet, and we really enjoyed our stay, and the hospitality and generosity has been above and beyond, so really thank you all. Appreciate it. As Chris mentioned, I'm Mike's younger brother Kevin, and our immediate family is here to celebrate with you all. My stepfather Jeff, my aunt Kathy, my brother Dan, and his lovely wife Andrea. and maybe a future pilot, my 6-year-old son, Nicholas. But I saved the best for last. The matriarch, my mother, Paula. Round of applause, please. Mike and Paula are obviously very close, and the Michael's Fund, we all talked about it with him, and it was his passion, and we just want to see it carry it through for him, and my mother's a big part of that. So thanks, Mom. It was it hit us like a ton of bricks last night. We're all honored to be here, and we're walking into the Cirrus event last night, and as soon as we walk in and we see that SR22 with the dark green paint job has Mike's, the tail number has Mike's birthday and initials, and like I said, it hit us like a ton of bricks, and it was so touching that he had colleagues to really follow through like that and make it special for his family coming out here to visit. It goes beyond words, and we're so thankful and grateful. Just touching quickly on Mike's professional life, he was really a steward of the Cirrus brand and the ultimate professional, and just really had a nose for the business. I can remember my exposure Mike would be over having his nephews on the swing, and he'd have to take a 30-minute phone call on a Saturday or Sunday, and I'd always ask him, how'd it go? Did you close the deal? And he'd usually just shrug me off and say, he's a nice guy, or so on and so forth. I can't repeat at the moment. But in short, this is a great event, and we're sincerely touched by the aviation community. Mike was a good judge of character, and it's clear why he was so fond of you all. Thank you. Also like to thank Chris and Steve and the whole Aerista and Cirrus family for welcoming us and making this night so special. Your companies are all class, and I really mean that. Thank you. Your generosity and outpouring support is something we'll never forget. Mike had a passion for flying, high standards, and a soft spot in his heart for kids. Mike's wish was to establish a charitable fund so youth with the same dream to fly may have an opportunity to experience the amazing world of aviation. The Michael T. Keefe Youth Aviation Fund was created with a mission to inspire, encourage, and teach. We thank you for your generosity and continued support in helping Mike's legacy live on. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Now I want to introduce one of my colleagues, and by really pure coincidence, Mitch Furman, who mans our Knoxville office for Aerista, is himself a graduate of the EAA program. He was there as a student, as a young guy, and then came back as an instructor later on. And I wanted to have Mitch just come up and say a few words about what that's meant for him and his dreams as a young budding aviator.
Thanks, Chris. First off, just to apologize about my voice. Thank you all for coming today. Celebrate Aerista's 10th anniversary, and obviously celebrating Mike's life. It is by pure coincidence that I was able to attend Air Academy as a child, and then again as an instructor, and give back to the community that helped me get where I am today. And when I heard that the fund was going to be benefiting something that was so dear to my heart, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. EA does a very great job of inspiring all of us. We come here every year, whether it's your first year and you're seeing this great convention for the first time, or you come back every year and enjoy it with friends, colleagues, and family. They truly inspire a lot of people. Outside of the 1 week that we're here, a lot goes on those other 51 weeks, especially here in Oshkosh. During the summer, they offer a 1 week camp. It's multiple sessions that span the entire summer, usually 6 to 7 weeks. And they're broken up into different age groups. It is part of the Young Eagles program. A lot of you are probably familiar with the Young Eagles program. What it is if you're not familiar, it connects pilots and kids who are interested in just getting up in an airplane and learning about what aviation is all about. And for those who've ever experienced, whether you've given the Young Eagles flight or you've experienced one as a child yourself, there's not a single kid that comes out of the airplane without a smile on their face. So as an extension of the Young Eagles program, they started this camp 36 years ago. Everything from ropes course, they have a graded ropes course with a climbing wall and team building activities to a workshop in the museum where they'll learn to do woodworking and sheet metal and composite work and understand how these materials are used to build airplanes in both home built and manufacturing. So these are some examples of kind of what the activities, but they are jam-packed full of activities from start to finish. If you guys are at the museum this week, I encourage you to look across Pioneer Field, look across the grass strip, and on your right you will see a log cabin. It's a very large log cabin. It facilitates 50 campers at a time, roughly. Feeds, entertains, and sleeps all 50 of those campers and some staff all at the same time for a week at a time. The best part of the week, the icing on the cake for each one of these campers, is not all the activities, but it is the Young Eagles rides. They get 2 Young Eagle rides, not just one in the Bell 47 helicopter. And if you're familiar with the show MASH, it's the same helicopter in the show MASH. And then a flight in a Cessna 162 Skycatcher. And that flight is with an instructor, which is great because it allows them to really get their hands on the controls and feel what it's like to fly an airplane. When I did it myself, that was the moment I knew when I walked out of the airplane that I wanted to be in the aviation industry, not just as a hobby, but as my life and career. So it really changed my life. At the end of the week, my parents picked me up, and they brought me in the car. We drove to our home at the time, which was in Green Bay. And they turned around and they asked me, well, how was your week? And I said, I looked them in the eyes and said, I'm going to be a pilot. And that is my week. I loved it so much, as Chris said, I had to come back and give back to EA. I came back for 3 summers as a counselor, as a young adult. 2 of those years as one of the flight instructors, and being able to give those rides day after day was not tiring whatsoever. And it's only excited me for my future and their future, and now I get to see all those kids here, and they'll stop by the Sears booth and come find me and tell me what they're up to, and I love hearing those stories. I'll leave it with this. Thank you to the Keefe family for setting up the foundation. What it's going to be able to do for all these campers and the kids, and then the inspiration it's going to give, I think is going to stretch beyond what you're able to imagine. And I hope one day you get to hear some of the stories of scholarships from campers with scholarships that are going to be affected by Mike's Foundation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mitch. Very much. That's what can happen. That's the real deal right there. You know, you got a kid who goes to camp and then comes through, gets out, flies a plane, goes to UND, graduates, and becomes then one of the most successful salesmen of the best airplane in the world. That's a pretty cool story. Thank you for telling it, Mitch. Okay, now the part you knew was coming. This is the part where we're going to ask you to ask you for some money. Before I do that, though, I want to be a little bit specific about this, just to make sure that everybody understands that this particular fund has a very specific purpose relative to this camp. It does not go to the EAA general fund. It doesn't go towards lobbying or Oshkosh or teaching people how to build airplanes. The money specifically earmarked for sending kids to camp. So it really is, it is very powerful. Any gift is very powerful in that way, and will make an impact on young aviators, just like it did on Mitch when he was a kid. Contributions thus far, the fund has been in existence now for quite a few months, and contributions to this point have been quite generous. Many individuals and organizations have donated, including Cirrus Aircraft, who have provided both initial and ongoing contributions to the fund. So thank you to Cirrus for participating in that. In order to extend everybody's generosity even further, Aerista will be matching the first $5,000 in donations that are received here at Oshkosh. So every contribution tonight effectively will be doubled through the matching gift from Aerista. That's good, right?
That's great.
But wait, there's more. Not to be left out, our friends at Lone Mountain Aircraft have agreed to match Arista's match. So now every $100 donated tonight will result in $300 of contributions to the fund. So that's amazing. Really outstanding. So thank you to Mark and Daniel and Paul. Let's hear it for these guys. Thank you. So that gets us down to the nuts and bolts. How do we do this? Is everybody located on your table? We have some cards underneath the, I have one right here, like so, and they should be on the tables. For the people outside, there are a few on the tables out there, but there's more in here. On the card on the right-hand side is a little QR code, and that's the magic. If you put your smartphone camera on that code, well, at least if you have an iPhone, if you put your iPhone camera on that code, it will link you to the site that allows you to make a donation directly. I found out just a little bit ago, it doesn't quite work that way for the Android people. So if we have Android people in the crowd, you can Google the name of the fund, and you'll come up to the right spot. It'll take you to the website. So, given that, with this card and this QR code, you can donate right here, right now, or you can take the card with you and do it later tonight. Or if you'd prefer to be contacted about making a donation later, there's a spot on the card to put some contact information. And out here on one of the tables, just outside the tent, there's a little box. In fact, what I'll probably do is I'll bring it up here and I'll put it right here. You can put the contact info there, stick the card in the box, and I'll be in touch with you next week about what to, kind of help you through the process and answer any questions. There you go. Here's the box. Just administratively, it's important to know that contributions are being made through the Rhode Island Foundation, which is a 100-year-old community foundation for Mike's home state of Rhode Island. The fund will be managed by the Rhode Island Foundation in such a way as to provide annual gifts to the EAA in perpetuity. So again, any gifts made this evening will not just benefit kids this year, next year, but forever. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for your attention. I hope you'll be inspired to give generously to this great cause and in honor of a great man and a great friend, Michael Keefe.